Hi everyone, I'm FM Greeno and welcome to Euro Truck Simulator 2. So, we've made some pretty good progress here in the game. I'm currently up at level 9. We're going to do our last job today before we actually think about buying our own truck. Now the truck I want to buy is pretty similar to the one you can see on screen here. Volvo, it's going to be green, and that costs 114,000 euros and some change. We're currently sat, as you can see, at 111,000. So by the time we've done this next job, that should put us in a position to buy that truck. So let's get into the job market and have a little look, see where we're going to head today. So this is the job I have selected for us to drive today. It's not the best paid job there is available, but it's right up there amongst them, and it gives us an opportunity to make our first foray into Hungary. So that's what we're going to do. We'll take this job and get on the road. So we're going to get underway here now. Quite a long drive ahead of us here. As you can see, it's just shy of 13 hours. So of course that's going to involve having to stop for a sleep somewhere on the way. I think we're leaving Nuremberg in Germany. We'll have to drive all the way across Austria, which should bring us some pretty spectacular mountain scenery, I guess. And then into Hungary. So I'm going to get on the road here, and we'll catch up once I'm out on the highway. So we've made it out of the city of Nuremberg, out onto the highway. Pretty highly forested round here, which is kind of nice. It's a beautiful day, as you can see. A little overcast, but yeah, bright and sunny enough, I guess. The roads don't seem too busy right now, which is nice. Like I say, we've got quite a long drive ahead of us, so we will be taking a rest. But we're going to try and get through as much of the day as we can before we do that. It's just coming up to 10 AM here. So obviously it would be better for us to sleep as much as we can through the sort of darker hours of the day. So if we can push through till kind of 5-6 PM, there or thereabouts, before we take a sleep, that would be ideal. But we'll see how we go.
And then exit right.
Here we are, approaching the Austrian border. Leaving Germany, heading into Austria. I'm expecting the landscape to change somewhat. We're going to see a lot more mountains on this next stretch of the drive, I guess. I'm pretty excited about the stage we're at in the game now. Let's say once we've done this job, we can get in and look at buying our first truck. It's going to be a bit different, of course. Certainly in terms of the jobs that we're picking up and doing. With the quick jobs, you can basically just pick and choose anything you like, and so it doesn't matter, you know, if your last job ends in, you know, Ostrava in the east part of the Czech Republic, you might still pick up your next job that starts in Strasbourg or something, and it just plonks you there. Whereas obviously when you've got your own truck, if you want to pick up a job in a different city, well, you've got to drive there. And of course the other thing to bear in mind, any damage to the truck, which fortunately we haven't really had to deal with so far here. But yeah, you're responsible for that yourself. So damage the truck, you got to take it to get fixed. You got to pay. So a little bit more responsibility, I guess. But it's the first step on the ladder to turn Greenobus logistics into a trucking empire, so yeah, that's pretty exciting. So we're going to truck on here a little more into the Alps. You can see the scenery here is starting to get a little hillier. Random windmill over there on the left hand side. We're a little far from from the Netherlands here, so I'm not quite sure what that's doing there. So we're approaching a toll road here. We have to pull up at the barrier and pay the monies to use the motorways here in Austria. Only €8. You can see kind of in front of us and to the left, It's definitely getting more mountainous here, and obviously once you get up in the mountains, the weather can become a little more changeable. Of course, this time of year, obviously it seems to be summertime, so you're not going to see snow-capped peaks. I don't know if that will change as we get deeper into the game, if it works that way or not. Another feature that I'm noticing a lot driving through Austria is tunnels. Of course, that's one of the ways that the engineers have set up the road network in Austria, Switzerland, etc. Where there isn't a sensible route around a mountain, they just go through it. And there are some pretty lengthy tunnels on the road network around there. So, yeah, we're driving through a lot of tunnels, which is fine. But I'd rather be outside of them looking at the mountains. Well, the weather conditions are certainly not improving here. We've had a bit of thunder and lightning. So, yeah, it's making the drive a little more difficult. Obviously, visibility gets affected when the weather is really bad. So, that's not ideal. It makes it a lot harder to spot cars coming up on your flank as well. So when you need to change lanes, you have to be really careful. Because, of course, we're limited to kind of 80 kilometers an hour. And probably, obviously, doing less than that when the weather is bad. And these cars can do a lot more than that. So, in fact, we've got a problem here. We need to turn left.
Exit left.
So that just goes to show, doesn't it? It's tricky when the weather is bad. But we'll keep plugging away. We've got another 5.5 hours of the drive to go. You're probably going to stop in a couple of hours. The petrol situation seems okay. We haven't started yawning or anything yet in terms of when we need to sleep. So we'll keep pushing on a little bit. Like I say, we'll get as much done in the daylight as possible and then try and sleep through as much of the night as we can. We can't be too far away from the Hungarian border now. We're down near Graz, so that's okay. Oh, they've stopped to let me out. Very kind of them. So yeah, just push on. So we haven't slept yet. It's getting close to the time that we're going to have to. But here's a big moment in the series. As you can see, we have reached a border point. See the Austrian flag flying there on the left-hand side. And now we are heading into Hungary. Our first time in Hungary in the series. So there we go. Obviously a country I am very familiar with driving around. So this is going to be kind of interesting. We're going far too fast. We're lucky not to get away with a speeding ticket going through the border there. Need to slow down a little bit. So yeah, here we go. Into Hungary. Let's hope it stops raining. Okay, so literally a minute or two into Hungary, our guy started to feel tired. So we're going to let him have a little rest here. So that takes us through to almost 3 AM. And we're going to go and try and get a bit of fuel here as well. While we're here. Pull up to the petrol pump. There we go. Diesel is not expensive here in Hungary compared to some of the stuff we've seen in Germany. So our employers will be fairly pleased if we fill it up here, I guess. How much is it going to come to? Just shy of €1,000. We've got 900 litres in the tank. And about... what, about a 3-hour drive ahead of us, I guess, now? Well, 3 hours and 43 minutes, it's saying, so... Unfortunately, it looks like most of our first drive through Hungary is going to be done in the dark. But I suppose on the positive side, it stopped raining. So, on we go. I'll catch up with you when we get a little bit closer or the sun comes up. Okay, we've got a railway crossing here. Not seen one of them yet in the game. We are kind of on the back roads here in Hungary. So I guess we're going to see a little bit of that. The new day is starting to dawn, as you can see. We're sort of passing through the... or not through, but around these little villages. Which are quite nice to see as the day is breaking. You've got about an hour and 3/4 left of this drive, so that'll be nice once the daylight starts to kick in a little more. It's been a pretty smooth drive, all told, so far. Touch wood, we've not managed to pick up any fines of any kind yet. We've had our lights on all the time. We've not been done for speeding. We definitely haven't crashed into anything, so all good so far. Wonder if it will continue all the way to the end of the drive. Let's see. So here we are, approaching the city of our destination, Pitch, in kind of southern Hungary. So that's our first Hungarian city discovered. Got a little way to go through the town to get there. It's been a good drive, this one. I've really enjoyed it. It's been a real mix of weather conditions. I mean, obviously you can see it's a glorious morning here in Hungary, but we had all that rain and the storms as we were going through Austria. There's been a real mix of scenery. Hungary is, particularly the sort of southern area of Hungary, is quite flat. But there's been like, you know, nice fields of sunflowers around and that sort of thing. Obviously the terrain in Austria was very different, very mountainous, and at the start of the drive we were driving through some sort of fairly heavily forested areas of southern Germany, which was nice. So yeah, it's been a really interesting kind of drive. The truck has gone like a dream. I'm assuming it must be reasonably well powered. We've not had any problems. It's not the heaviest load that we've got on the back here. It's about 12 tons, I think, this reservoir tank thing that we've got on. But as you can see, the truck has no problem accelerating up to a decent speed fairly quickly. Get around this corner, then we've only got, what, 1 kilometre left to go. Fairly industrial looking area of Pécs here. Don't think it's the prettiest town. A lot of Hungarian towns are a bit like this. A lot of kind of industry in and around them. They mostly all have a nice old town, but it might just be quite a small part of the town, you know. But yeah, we're getting really close now. In fact, that just seems to be our destination there on the right hand side. So we'll slow down, see if we can pull out a little bit so that we can swing round this corner smoothly into our destination.
Safe and sound.
So how good is that? We have delivered no fines. Right, I don't think we're going to be attempting that job. Even that looks a little bit tricky. Just getting it to swing around that way, but we'll give that a go. See where it is. Just down here to the left. We can get the trailer around well enough. We've got a bit of space to play with, which is nice. If it had been right up against the fence, it might have been a little trickier, because obviously straightening up the trailer would have been more of a challenge, but that seems to have been simple enough. So we just drive, trying to stay within the lines roughly. Wait for it to turn green. It should any second now. There we go, and we are parked. Pretty good result from that drive. Like I say, no fines picked up at all. We've picked up almost 20,000 euros and some decent experience points. So we're about halfway through level 9 now. Like I said, in the next episode, we will be going to buy our first truck. I'm probably going to have one more drive offline between now and then. Seeing as I'm in Hungary now, I wouldn't mind having a little charge around the place. So we might try and pick up a job in Budapest or something. I guess when we buy the truck, we're going to be shunted back to our depot in Leipzig to start out. So yeah, I'm going to take advantage of being down in Hungary while I can. Well, I hope you enjoyed the episode today. It was a very, very successful one. Getting us closer to our aim of buying the truck. No fines, no traffic violations, just a nice smooth drive. If you did enjoy it, please drop a like on there for me. Of course, it helps me get seen by more people. And if you've got any comments about today's episode or the series as a whole so far, I would love to see them below. Don't forget, if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, click that button and come and hop on the Greeno truck. There's plenty of room for you all. Just remains for me to thank you for watching, and I will see you soon for some more Euro Truck Simulator 2. Bye for now.